Are the Chicago Bears done making moves in NFL free agency? Let's talk about it, people. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears and talking about if, in fact, we are pretty much done with free agency. Like, could the Bears make any more moves? And I'm here to tell you that I think it is pretty much a wrap for free agency. Now, could we see couple other vetman signings here and there? Sure, there's been a bunch of those over the last few days, but as far as any sort of substantial, notable, big deals, I don't think that's going to happen. Now, let's kind of review all of the moves that they have made so far in free agency. Some of this is kind of pre-free agency as well, the Kevin Byard signing, if you will, but my point is, here are all of the players that the Bears have signed. It's quite a few, so here we go. So we've got the recent signings. A couple offensive linemen, Jake Curham, defensive lineman Byron Cowart, defensive lineman Jake Martin, wide receiver Dante Pettis, offensive lineman Cole Shelton, a linebacker Amen. I'm not even going to try there. We got DeAndre Swift, Jill Everett, Jonathan Owens, Matt Pryor, offensive lineman, quarterback Brett Rippon, Kevin Byard, and then Ryan Bates. So it's actually a decent list of signings here that we have had. So even though it doesn't seem like they've made a ton of moves, it's been like, a few little splash moves, right? The DeAndre Swifts of the world, the Jill Everetts, but it's like, no, we've done a number of signings. They're just not all big names. And of course, I didn't include Keenan Allen because he was a trade, not a free agent signing. And so if you look at the list, we have addressed a lot of the positions, right? You addressed backup tight end. You addressed a backup quarterback position. You addressed offensive line depth. You addressed some defensive depth as well on the defensive line, as well as the defensive secondary. So you have addressed a lot of the needs, and that's why I think the rest of the the rest of the needs are going to be met during the draft. I think Ryan Poles is moving towards the draft at this point. The Bears do have still, I think, about $28 million in cap space per over the cap, but that does not include the signings of Jill Everett, Dante Pettis, and a couple of the new guys that they have signed, so it's going to decrease. But you also have to take into account, we got to save some money for the rookie class, right, that's coming in, and Ryan Poles is not going to just stay with 4 picks. He's going to go into the draft with 4, but end up with probably 8. All right, because that's just what Ryan Poles does. So you got to count all of those salaries. And then, of course, a little bit of in-season, right? You always got to save some cap for in-season. Anything can happen, injuries, if you will, picking up guys that get cut. So there's always got to be that flexibility. But for the most part, I think we have addressed, a good number of the positions that we needed to. Pass rusher, to me, is still the biggest need on the roster at this point. Obviously, we know quarterback is going to come with that number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. Wide receiver, you address with Keenan Allen. You certainly could use another receiver, and they could definitely draft one, but it is temporarily in the sense of the short term has been addressed. And so to me, pass rusher is the biggest need, and that could be addressed in the draft with a guy like a Jared Verse, or if you will. So to me, I do think they are pretty much done here. If they make any notable moves, like there's still some guys out there like Jadeveon Clowney's out there, Tyler Boyd's still out there, but I don't really expect them to do it. But if they do, those are kind of the names that are out there. So free agency is pretty much dried up as well, but that's really it. So let me know what you guys think, man. I think the Bears are pretty much done making moves. Do you guys agree? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts as always.